Okay, now let's proceed with the next type of equation, which is absolute values. So the first one, we have absolute values on only one side. Modulus of x minus 5 is equivalent to 3. So how to solve this one? We have two solutions here. It's either x minus 5 is equivalent to positive 3 or x minus 5 is equivalent to negative 3. So x is equivalent to 8 or x is equivalent to positive 2. So we have two solutions here. So next we have modulus, we have absolute values on both sides, left and right. So modulus of x minus 5 is x minus 1 is equals to modulus of x plus 5. So to solve this one, we have to square both sides. X minus 1 squared is equals to x plus 5 squared. So when you try to expand this one, you have x squared minus with the 2x plus 1 is equals to x squared plus 10x plus 25. So x squared, so we have here 12x. So we move to the other side. So for the 25, we move to the other side. So you will get negative 24. Therefore, x is equivalent to negative 2. So we have only one solution here. Okay, so now let's move on to the next type of equation, which is factoring by group. So for the factoring by group, so what does it mean? So for this case, we have it's already in order. The degree of, we have the highest degree here is power of 3, power of 2, power of 1, and no x here. So we can split this into two groups. So the first group is for the first two terms and the next one for the last two terms. So for the first two terms, factoring by group, you have to make sure that we can put on the same common factor, on the common factor between these two groups. So let's say for this one, for the x squared plus 2x squared, so we can write this one as factor out x squared. So you will get just x plus with the 2. And factoring by group, you have to make sure for the last two term also you have the same factor, which is x plus 2. So equals to 0. So what you have to put in the middle here, it depends on what makes the terms become negative x minus 2. So we have to put in the middle here minus 1. Therefore, for x squared minus 1, so you can factor out this one will become x squared minus 1. So everything in terms of factor, so equivalent to 0. So for the x squared minus 1, we can still factor out. So it will become x minus 1, x plus 1, x plus 2 is equals to 0. So at the end, the final answer, x is equivalent to 1, negative 1, and also negative 2. So we have three solutions here. So let me try to explain this one more. So let's say for this one, if you assume that x plus 2, the terms of x plus 2 as, let's say we assume that one as a. So we have x squared. So let's say I put it here, assume that x plus 2 is equals to a. Therefore, for this term, you will get x squared times a minus with the 1 times a is equals to 0. So we have terms of a here. So when you factor out a, so you will get a, and what left is x squared minus 1 is equals to 0. So that's why we get like this, x squared minus 1, x squared minus 1, and a here substitute back with the x plus 2. So you will get here x plus 2, x squared minus 1 is equals to 0. So this one, I just directly put in terms of factor form. So that's why I got x squared minus 1 multiply with the x plus 2. So actually it comes, so to be clear, so it's actually like this, x squared times a minus a. So when you factor out a, so you will get back x plus 2 times with the x squared minus 1. So we have three factors here, and therefore we have three solutions. Okay, so let's try out this question. So this is also question involving factoring by group. So for this case, we can group between the first two terms and the last two terms here. So for this case, we have 3a cubed minus 24a squared minus 12a plus 96. So not all the equation involving 4 terms you can apply factoring by group. It depends. So for this one, as you can see here, if you try to group between the first 2 terms here, so you will get, so between 3 and 24, we can factor out 3a squared. So what you will get here is a, so minus with the 4, so minus a minus with 3a squared, so 8 a, so a minus 8, and this one also should be a minus 8 is equals to 0. So factoring by group, as I mentioned earlier, you have to make sure you must put the same term between the first 2 terms and the last 2 terms. So a minus 8. So the terms in the middle here, what makes the factor become negative 12a plus with the 96. So you have to put in the middle here as minus with the 12. So when you try to check, so 12 times with the 8, so you will get 96. Therefore, this one you have to factor out. So we can put first a minus 8, the first factor, and the next factor is 3a squared minus 12 is equals to 0. So you have to make sure before you try to solve, you have to make sure all the factor in the complete factorization. So let's say for this 3a squared minus 12, so actually you can factor out 3, so you will get a squared minus with 4, and then a minus 8 is equivalent to 0. And again, a squared minus 4, you can still factorize, so you will get 3, a minus 2, a plus 2, and a minus 8 is equals to 0. Therefore, the final answer a is equivalent to 2, negative 2, and 8. So this one, 3 is just a constant. So what left is only a is 2, negative 2, and also 8.